What happened?
So speak up.
They came to the school. Okay, very good. What about you?
Them card,
Yeah, you used to have the little cards, aren't they? They give them in school. It's a new initiative that they've taken out. We've given some to Madrasah in the back, but he's going to distribute them out as he feels necessary. I don't think there's any cards in there, but there's some other stuff.
Okay. Well, so what do you think of the police then? Huh? Tell me. Are you frightened of them? Are you okay with them? You don't like them? Be honest with me. Speak up. Don't be scared. You're frightened of them? Okay. Yeah? You're a bit scared of them. What about you? Go on, speak. In the hat, yeah.
Do we have what? Do we have guns? There's certain
Some officers have guns.
Yeah.
What about the ladies here? What do you think of the police? Are you proud of them? Are they okay? Quiet. Let the girls speak. Anybody here met a police officer, had an encounter with a police officer? No? What do you think of the police? If you don't like them, say you don't like them. We are here to kind of like tell you the inside story. You think they're okay? You think they do a good job? Okay. How many young lads here would one day want to grow up to be a police officer? Hands up. What about the young ladies? Okay. Calm down. Okay. Right? Being a police officer, right, is not all about carrying guns and chasing criminals, right? It's not all about that. But if you want to be a police officer, right, the one thing we do in our police force, we have a group of Muslim officers, and that's what this association is. And we all stick together and support each other as Muslims. Because when you have to be a police officer, and you have to work shifts, and you have to police the Olympics, and you have to police the disorder that we had last year, and you have to still keep your fast, and you still have to go to Travi, and you still have to go to Jummah, and you still have to do all of those things. That's why we try and stay together to support each other, to always remember that we're Muslims first before we're police officers, yeah? So it's very important to understand, as Muslims, as officers, we're Muslims first, and then police officers. So whenever we have to do anything that might compromise our faith, we don't. We talk to each other, we support each other, but we are Muslims first. I will actually now take some questions from anybody about police officers and what it's like. Any question? Stand up. What's your name?
Alien.
Sorry?
Alien.
Okay, and what's your question?
Have you got walkie-talkies?
Have you got walkie-talkies? Yeah, we have. We'll give you one later, okay? Okay. Anybody else with a question? I'll take any questions from here. Hold on. Quiet. The girls are very quiet. You need to be quiet. Any questions from the girls? Yeah.
Did you work in the riots? Did you work in the riots?
Did we work in the riot? Yes, we worked in the riot. And it was very, very hard.
One of the things as a police officer is we don't have, do you know, like, I don't know if the majority of your fathers work, you have shifts, don't you? So you go to work in the morning or the afternoon. One of the things as a police officer is they can require you any time. So when we had the riots, when you asked, did we work the riots, I think we got called in on the Tuesday. So I came in the morning on Tuesday when the riot started. I didn't go home until Saturday morning. So I worked Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday until Saturday, all the way through. That was day and night. What you remember is through the riots, it was also Ramadan, so we were all fasting. So throughout that, when Brother Mustafa says that we had to stick together, while the riots were there, we were still fasting because we're still Muslims first. So we had to open and close our fasts and read Tarawih and read namaz throughout work. So you have to find 10 minutes to just move away and read your namaz, come back, and you find the time, because you always have to remember that yes, you're a police officer, but before all you're a Muslim. But one of the fundamental things as a Muslim, especially for the youth, is that your behaviour reflects and accounts for all the other Muslims as well. So if you're well behaved within the community and you come across the police officers as really nice, well mannered, well spoken, and whenever they ask you for something or some help, you help them, that makes the police officers feel that these are really nice, good kids, and these are kids that are helpful. And one of the things, don't ever be frightened of a police officer. They're not there to hurt you. They're not there to take you away. They're not going to lock you up. They're there to help you. That's what we do, inevitably. If you're lost, come to a police officer. We'll help you. We'll take you home. We'll try and get you somewhere. But above all, I think Madrasah said, for us, I mean, I've known Madrasah for years. Just like he's your star, he's mine too. So I mean, I might be this size, but if I do something wrong, he'll still tell me off. Do you know what I mean? So when he tells you off, that's because he's trying to tell you the right and show you the right way to do it. So I mean, the moral of that being, you should always listen to your star and listen to your elders, because that's what they're there for. They try and put you on the right tracks, and try and stay within good, sort of honest, hard-working people. Going on to, do you know, like there's a lot of gangs out there, isn't there, within the community, and that's something you've got to stay away from. It's something that I can't, and Brother Mustafa here couldn't stress as much. You know, you've got to stay away from them. Be your own people, and like you said, come to Madrasah, read your namaz. When you go to school, you must study as well, because a lot you put your hands up to say you want to be police officers. You can also be solicitors, lawyers, barristers, doctors. What you must do is work as hard as you possibly can when it comes to Islamic studies and when it comes to school, getting your studies done there, because it's the only way you'll be recognised as Muslims. If you become a doctor, how many Muslims and other people can you help? If you become a lawyer, a barrister, police officer, you know, you'll have some moral standing within your community and you'll be helping people. I think that's one of the reasons we're here, is to try and get you all to stay away from gangs. Approach police officers, because that's what we're there for. Say hello to them when you see them on the street, because they'll always talk to you. They'll, you know, don't be scared of them.
Yeah, of course.
Have you ever seen drugs in hidden and stuff?
Yes. In our service, we've seen gangs, we've seen violence, we've seen people take drugs, we've locked people up that have taken drugs, we've seen people steal cars, we've seen people commit robberies, we've seen Muslims do all those things, right? And what I would say to you young people is that the thing that will stop you doing that is the deen. It's not the police, it's not the police force or anybody in the police. It's your teachings of Islam that say, don't do that, it's wrong. Don't do that, it's wrong. That's what stopped me. That's what stopped my brother Shakir. Right? What's stopping me doing bad things? It's your deen, yeah? You respect your deen, you learn your deen, and you will be successful in every element of other parts of your life. And that is absolutely guaranteed. Our deen doesn't allow us to steal, doesn't allow us to take drugs, doesn't allow us to have alcohol, doesn't allow us to harm people, lots of things. So that's what the police enforce those rules, but actually our deen teaches that before the police force came along, yeah? It's very important that what you're learning here, that you translate that in your everyday life. You don't hurt people, you don't do wrong to people, you practice your deen, you do the right things according to the deen, and you will be successful. But that is the things that we're trying to do within our force. It's been very difficult when you only have 1 or 2 Muslim officers some 20 years ago. Now we've got 400 Muslim officers. And when you guys, inshallah, join, there'll be more and more. And when you have more Muslims in the police force, you are policing Muslim communities. There are more Muslim communities out there. So when they look at Muslims, they feel more confident to approach them and talk to them. They'll say, oh, Muslims will understand Muslims. So there is an obligation upon all of you to make sure that you contribute within the Muslim community, yeah? But this is the deen that will see you on the right path. Yes, of course you can, Mulana. But if it's about the deen, right, I'm going to pass it.
I was just going to ask, obviously you mentioned about having relies on if you had a criminal record, how does it buy if you wanted to become a police officer, or does it have an impact?
I think if you have a criminal record, I think the general rule is that you can't apply, isn't it? But it depends on what it is. If it's a very low level, I think I shall assume, if it's a driving offence which is quite minor, or if it's a caution which is very low level, then you're still eligible to apply. But if you sort of have a criminal record on normal basis, I don't think you're in a position to apply. So what the emphasis, what Madrasah says, you've got to stay out of trouble. You can't get involved in any sort of trouble. You can't get arrested or anything like that, because then your chances of trying to apply to become a police officer are either minimalised or they're gone completely. So you have to stay totally out of trouble in order to become a police officer.
Yeah, and if I can just expand on that. When you come to write a job application, when you've done your studies and you want to do a job, you have a section that you need to fill out to say, have you got any previous convictions? Convictions is when you've gone